Good day, VC. So, I'm on the last day of my trip in the Adirondack Mountains with my family at a cabin. And you may hear the sound of boats and dogs and birds and stuff, so that's good ambience. I always bring a turntable every time we do this with my family and my friends' families, so I thought it'd be cool to show you what I've been playing here at our cabin, which, yeah, has power. It's our last day, like I said, for the full week. And I brought 32 records, and we've been playing so much music and hanging out and swimming and stuff, hiking. We've played all of them, and actually most of them twice. So I feel like an accomplishment has been made. I'm going to show you some of those, and yeah, you'll see like everything I bring is pretty much more crowd pleasing, less harsh or chaotic, no free jazz. And so it's good for this kind of stuff, late night stuff, early morning stuff, campfire stuff. Yeah, the turntable's nearby. Always brought my Technics and a little speaker, a little preamp. Let's get into some of what I've been playing. I'll give a full update on what's been going on personally with, WFMU Record Fair, the new Material Objects EP. We'll talk about that next time. Always bring some Neil Young, and I've been playing Tonight's the Night. Of course, the original pressing with the blotter matte paper. A record, recorded in 73, not released till 75. He delayed the release. The only Reprise black label that exists, and obviously it's part of the Dish trilogy with On the Beach and Time Fades Away. Recorded before Time Fades Away. This is what he did with the Santa Monica Flyers. Included Nils Lofgren, the two members of Crazy Horse, a few others, but really a tribute to his friends that he lost, Danny Whitten, one of them. And it includes the song that Danny Whitten wrote that they did in 1970 that was on the completed Fillmore record. Includes that performance. Like Neely likes to do. He takes some of what the session was and then throws in bits and pieces. It all makes sense. This is definitely a dark record. Danny Whitten, gone but not forgotten. Ralph Molina, Billy Talbot, of course, Crazy Horse, Nils Lofgren, there he is, and Ben Keith on lap steel. That was the Santa Monica Flyers, and it's most of what this record is, including one track with the Stray Gators, which was the Harvest Band, but a dark record and recorded before On the Beach and before the tour that would become, so the tour that what became Time Fades Away was with the Harvest Band, and that was the tour that Danny Whitten was supposed to go on, but he died. And so they got back from that tour and he recorded this and delayed it until after On the Beach. I guess he just felt it was a very dark record, which it is. He was a little bit unsure about to put it out there. Apparently there's even a darker version of this record, Tonight's the Night, that exists in the vaults that we might see. Who knows? But, just it's so loose and it feels just so specific. Tired eyes, his voice cracking, and he says in there, it wasn't supposed to go down that way, he's just really, he's in his zone. And I just love speaking out. So loose. And Come On Baby, Let's Go Downtown, the Danny Whitten song on guitar. Just such a great riff. Like I said, that was recorded live at the Fillmore in 1970 and put out on the archival release in full, 10, 15 years ago. But he put it on here as a tribute to his friend Danny Whitten. Also bought the first album. I'm not going to talk about so much about this one, but I think this is underrated, but also definitely Neil trying to figure stuff out. This is the early mix that was done, that he recalled it and then remixed it and put the Neil Young on top. I won't get into it. I'm going to link to all the videos I did with my son. If you didn't know, before I started this channel, I did a channel called Quarantine Hearts with my son. We did during the pandemic that we listened to every single Neil Young album and did a video on each one. And I'll link to that, but this is the original two-tone a good album. I think it's great. There's some definitely studio type stuff he's doing this with strings, with sort of orchestration. And how you doing?
Good. Are you still able to do your video?
I'm doing it right now.
Just edit this part.
I'm not editing anything, so. Anyway, we talked about that. We're going to do this unedited, so screw it. Rodelius. I just got this one a few weeks ago. Super, super lovely and aquatic, we'll say. An aquatic listen. Like none other. 1981. Wenn der Sugwind Wet. On the Sky label. Got this for a great bargain at like $40. Made an offer in New Jersey, Scotty's Records. This is one of his super great best records. Of course, Rodelius. You know him when you hear him. Hans Joachim Rodelius. I like this includes the original J&R bag. Shout out to everyone who knows that place. Old retailer, New York City retailer that closed a few years ago. Battery Park. This sounded great here. Rodelius in his prime. I think this is actually one of his best records. Just super lovely. Again, that tone of his synth and organ. You know Rodelius when you hear him. He's a very singular artist, and it sounds like this cover. Sky label. Listening to some new stuff. New record from Maxine Funk, great New Zealand singer-songwriter that she does the hushed folk song thing and beautiful lo-fi thing, but then also combines it with field recordings, ambient sound, and creates tapestries with that and sings all over that stuff. So the first side is that folky lo-fi stuff, and the second side is that more experimental stuff that feels more sort of it makes it much more interesting. I think it's more interesting to have that as a combination, sort of showing her experimental side. This is on the Disciples label, just released. She's been reissuing a bunch. The Pieces of Driftwood record was a compilation. Love that. But some of her early records have been getting reissued, and Maxine Funk's great. Partnered with Alistair Galbraith. Yeah. Moving on. My son there making a cameo coming through. I'm doing this unedited. No, we're going to let it go. I've been playing. I brought some Michael Hurley, my original. I just upgraded this original of Hi-Fi Snock Uptown, 1972 on Warner Brothers. All Michael Hurley art. Very slack, sort of rural, kind of. There's a promo on the Raccoon label. He specializes in that sort of slack folk music, I guess is the best way I can put it. But he does things in a very kind of outsider perspective, you could say. Youngbloods Present, that's their label, the Raccoon label. I just love the artwork. He does, unfortunately, have a lot of lyrics that feel a little creepy. And I don't love that. But I just love his approach to music. I'm still looking for the original. I have the reissue. The original Folkways, his first record. Very rare. Maybe at WFMU. Also bought Long Journey, his first for the Rounder label out of Massachusetts. This is another top one. There he is. What's the song on here? Yolo Tango cover, Polynesia #1 on stuff like that. They cover that. So Polynesia #1 from this. Long Journey. This one gets a little more into a bit of a bluegrass territory, but still the Michael Hurley sound. Enigmatic, we'll say. Originally from Pennsylvania, not far from where Ithaca is, actually. Long Journey. I'm playing that one. A couple of Josh Abrams related records. I don't know if I've shown this one yet. This is Reprehensing with Elisa Alvarado art. This goes back to 2011. Recorded home in 2011. Technically a Josh Abrams record, but it's really a Natural Information Society record. This was a tough one to get. I'm only missing one more record in the Josh Abrams or National Information Society family, but this features all of the heavy hitters. Abrams doing the Guimbria organ, harps, bells, harmonium, sampler. Chad Taylor, his partner in Head Music. I'm just based on the name. The Drag City record. Mind Maintenance, his partner in that. Emmett Kelly of Cairo Gang's guitar. Lisa Alvarado doing harmonium. You have Tamika Reed, cello. Jeff Parker, electric guitar only on one track, and a few other collaborators. So this is fantastic. You know these covers now when you see at least Alvarado's art. Yeah, just one more I need. It's a Josh Abrams record, but it's really, again, a Natural Information Society record. I picked this next one up in Pittsburgh, and this is excellent in this series, the Rogue Art series. Abrams, Jeff Parker, Gerald Cleaver, and Ari Brown sax. Great, a little more straight, and this is Abrams on upright. This is called Josh Abrams Cloud Script. This is great. Jeff Parker's guitar on this is great. At some point, it sounds like he's doing synthesizer. But this is from 2020. Got this in Pittsburgh at Government Center. Love that. Here's an artist I'm going to be talking a lot about this year, and hopefully I'll do a full feature on him. Just special music I've known about for many years, but for whatever reason I picked up on it recently. I just got Wendy and Carl's Consciousness, doing a take on the Archie Shepp record, The Way Ahead. Beautiful labels. Wendy and Carl out of Michigan, Royal Oak, Michigan, I believe it is, and they had that record store that they closed up in 2020 called something S. Just forgot it, but just masters and drone ambient music done with guitar and a little bit of voice from Wendy Weaver. Released the record in 2020. I'll show it another time on Cranky. This is on Cranky from 2001. Just a masterful tone and ambient drift on this. I mean, it is just beautiful. Beautiful. I'll be talking more about them. And it's just the husband, Carl Holmgren, Wendy Weaver. They record their own label, Blue Flea, which some of their records appear on. Everything else is pretty much on Cranky. This is great. It's out of print. I had to pay a little bit up for this, but it's so worth it to me. Probably this next one I've been playing the most of any other record this year. The new PJ Harvey record, I Inside Dying. I Inside the Old Year Dying. Her regular collaborators are all over this. Flood and John Parrish. There they are. It's spectacular. It's pretty short, and it features her doing this sort of old English lyrics, but it's a lot of nylon string, a lot of synth. It's pretty understated, no aggressive parts. The loudest song is pretty mellow, and it's the last one, A Noiseless Noise. A lovely, this is excellent. Mazzy, I'm sure you're digging this one. But I've played this maybe 8 times now. Played it like 2-3 times here. New PJ Harvey, she's great. This is technically reissued. Dylan Acox Talk West. On the Scissor Tail label, just released this. This is in that kind of country rock, but drone sort of experimental style. Talk West delivers the stunning batch of drone folk meditations fashioned with a truly refreshing mix of synth, loops, air organ, and expressive pedal steel. Yeah, coming from the Fahey tradition, but definitely stretching out a bit into a bit of rock band territory, but yeah, bringing in found sound, sort of atmosphere. And it's from 2013, 2014. Dylan Golden Acock has his own sort of solo recordings. I gotta look up some more info on him. Yeah, from Tulsa, or recorded in Tulsa, 2013, 2014. Maybe the first time on vinyl on this. Scissor Tail, there he is. Bought a bunch of, let's see, we'll get to that in a sec. The new Caliphone Villagers. Maybe not an essential record, but I love it. If you're getting into Caliphone, maybe not the one I'd start with, but some really cool stuff happening on this record. The song Eyelash, wonderful. Tim Rutilli, formerly of Red Red Meat, other projects out of Chicago. This is on the Jealous Butcher label. And again, it kind of brings in a lot of that sort of various percussion, various instruments, sort of a folk mold, but always feeling a little bit like it ebbs and flows from different styles in a sense. But he's got that sort of oaken voice. Compilation of Ali Farka Touré's On Earth recordings are previously unreleased. Yeah, everything is unreleased here throughout his career. I think it's mostly from the late 70s, early 80s. Voyageur on the World Circuit label. Yeah, produced with his son, Farka Touré. African blues is really starts and ends here in a lot of ways, at least from the mainstream. I mean, everyone should probably know Ali Farka Touré, but a real pioneer in this style. And yeah, some of this features Umu Sangare, and it has some tracks that are acoustic and electric that were not, done in different versions. It's very beautiful, very nicely recorded. Features even some him talking in between various songs, and a great record out here in the woods. Love it. A new release here on Cranky, also called Saloli. That's the name of the artist. This is called Canyon. Great cover. The art by Jerry Sutton. But Saloli is otherwise known as Mary Elizabeth Sutton, Native American artist. And this is all sort of little symphonies, we'll call it. Not symphonies, but sort of like, we'll call it pocket compositions. They all feel very quaint, sort of like tight, but lovely. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of, who is it that reminds me of? It has a feeling of like the Napoleon Dynamite soundtrack at times. Just like very kind of quaint and sweet. It has one other record, Saloli, Mary Elizabeth Sutton, but this is her second. Just came out like last week on Cranky. Very beautiful. Yeah, I have to read up on her and see what her deal is. What two early jazz records from that jazz collection that was donated to me many years ago now, a few years ago now. The Big Sound, Gene Ammons, All-Star, with Coltrane on alto. I think his first, many very rare appearance on alto. Paul Quinichette, Jerome Richardson, Pepper Adams on the Barry. I guess Jerome Richardson on flute. Oh no, Paul Quinichette was added late because Gene Ammons was late to the session. But this is an original Prestige Van Gelder. Good enough shape, pretty nice. And the Coltrane stuff, solo, he's on the two cuts. Also features George Joyner and Art Taylor. Well, Coltrane on this is sort of feeling his way. Oh, Mal Waldron, of course. I didn't mention Mal Waldron, also not listed on the front, but a good session. This is, I don't have the year in front of me, probably 57, 58 on Prestige. And then another Prestige. Brought some Milt Jackson, the Soul Pioneers, featuring Horace Silver, also original Van Gelder Deep Groove. Prestige, Horace Silver, Percy Heath, Connie Kay, drums, quartet. Some nice vibes in the woods. This one held up pretty well. And another new release, but really a reissue, a record I already have, but it's by the absolutely essential group for me, Woo, Into the Heart of Love. This is the full version that I didn't have, that they put out on tape first. There they are, the Brothers Ives. Different cover art, but the same design as the original, which is like a yellow sleeve. As I said, it came out on tape originally in 1989, 1990. And the first edition on Emotional Rescue was a concise track list, which I didn't realize. I saw this coming out and had to get it because it's the full, one of their most beloved records. Yeah, just turns your mind to mush, just mind mush in a great way. A few vocals on this, Make Me Tea, as well as It's Love. I'll link to the Woo video I did. This is just out on the Palto Flats label. And as always, I always bring a bunch of reggae, because my friend I'm here with, Justin, loves reggae, as do I. The Aggravators compilation of the Golden Age of Dub. 2 volumes of this. I brought volume 1. It's all King Tubby with Bunny Lee producing, and the Aggravators, the band. I mean, you know what you're going to get when there's dubbing at King Tubby's. This is great. This is from, 2017 maybe? 2016 on VP. Great dub stuff. That's a double. I brought one of the Scientist records, the Pac-Man one, Encounters Pac-Man. on green sleeves. Gotta love Scientist and the minimal, Spartan, psychedelic production that he brings. Of course, you get the comic. This is not an original pressing, but it's from like maybe 20 years ago. What else? A few more. I'm gonna go swim. Beat Down Babylon by Junior Vials, produced by Lee Perry. 73, 72. Original, this is a UK pressing. First pressing though. Just famous Trojan labels. Certainly in the Rocksteady mold, we'll say. Pretty poppy, really, but definitely worth being in my collection. And Long Shot Kick the Bucket, the LP that is also on Trojan by the Pioneers from 1969. Original pressing on Trojan, UK. Both of these I imported from the UK a long time ago. You know the song. The rest of the LP is pretty solid, but Long Shot Kick the Bucket. Great cover too. Looks like they're at a horse racing track. Yeah, pretty good. Essential skinhead reggae. Another original Trojan. Clint Eastwood Rides Again, the second part of this. Of course, the Upsetters. This has got a barcode actually. Yeah, this is from like 95, so not original. But a great one. You don't see this one, maybe got a music on vinyl pressing. But yeah, this is just Lee Perry with the Upsetters in prime sort of skinhead reggae territory, making those sort of concise instrumentals with big organ, heavy organ. You know, a lot of his grumbles. I think Baby Baby is the one. No, Salt and Pepper is my favorite track on this one. Great cover. That is not Lee Perry, I don't think. And the last one is a On You Sound record. The second record from Singers and Players, Revenge of the Underdog, featuring Prince Farai, who was later, like a year after this, was killed, shot and murdered. But also features Ben Sherman, double vocalist, Adrian Sherwood producing, along with Crucial Tony, Styles Scott, and an appearance by Viv Albertine of the Slits. That crew that was producing. This is from 1983. Original On You Sound label. This is the second album. The first one is on You Sound UK on 99 Records in the US. Great though. This is classic on You Sound stuff. Kind of following in that Scientist mold of minimal production. Lots of almost Adrian Sherwood brings a bit of a post-punk feel to everything, and of course you get the Prince Farai on here. If you don't know Prince Farai, he's got that deep voice. Like you always know when you hear Prince Farai, and you always know when you hear Adrian Sherwood producing for On You Sound. All right, that's it. Yeah, we might get some rain in a bit, so I'm gonna go swim, and I thought I would bring this video out to highlight what we've been playing, because it's great to play records here on vacation. I'm glad to be able to do it. Full update coming next time. And thanks everybody. Leave a comment. I'll get back to him soon. And take care.